It just keeps getting better and better and better. I cannot wipe the smile off my face. Celtic 6, St Mirren 0. 3 things we learned. I mean, it's getting difficult to do these 3 things we learned because, number 1, you can't just pick out 3 things nowadays, but number 2, it's just consistent class from Celtic and it's getting hard to break down. Before we go any further with the video, I urge you to check out the top line of the description and download the OneFootball app via my link. OneFootball is a channel sponsor that offers the best football app out there to keep up with everything in the world of football, not just Scotland. You can get live scores, match results, team information, news stories, everything all in the one place. It really is handy, and using my link you're helping both me and the channel sponsor. So check out that in the top line of the description. Hopefully the last game that I will miss this season. I don't want to jinx it, touch wood, but I'll hopefully be back at Celtic Park for the next home game. Celtic 6, St Mirren 0, back-to-back home games in the league that we have won 6-0. We are running rampant right now. We're suffocating teams, and these scorelines are going to become all the more frequent, I think, this season. I said it in the preview yesterday. I said it's now becoming sort of second nature for Celtic to play these games, create 15, 20, 25 chances and beat the opposition by 5 or 6 goals, because that's the style now. It's not like it's one day we wake up and we feel like, oh, let's go for it today. Let's really go for it. No, this is every single game. This is against European opposition. This is again in the Cups. This is in the league. This is what Celtic want to do. This is the Ange Postecoglou philosophy. And right now, it is just marvellous to watch. Today, another beautiful performance. From start to finish, I was just filled with joy watching it. I was cheerful. I love it. I can't put into words how good it is watching Celtic at the moment. Everything from back to front is basically perfect, and you would have to be a right door-faced bastard to find some negatives in today's performance. I mean, St Mirren did go down to 10 men and it made life a bit easier for Celtic, but listen, we were already flying before they had a man sent off. There was nothing stopping the Ange Postecoglou train this afternoon, especially when players like David Turnbull and Liela Bada turn up and decide they want to cause havoc, because both of them done exactly that today. St Mirren can't handle it, Dundee can't handle it, and I think any team who visits Celtic Park this season is going to struggle to handle it, because it's just non-stop. It's from the first to the last whistle. We never gave up there. You know, there's a lot of times in the past, you know, you're up 3-4-0 at half-time, like we were today, and you go out in the second half and it's a little bit more flat. The energy levels drop, you save yourself for a midweek game, and it might end the same as it was at half-time. That's not what Ange Postecoglou wants. That's the exact opposite of what Ange Postecoglou wants. He wants his team to keep going. He wants to score as much as possible, and he wants to entertain us as supporters. And you know what? Right now, you're looking at a man that could be the greatest entertainer we'll ever see. The great entertainer. He's just magical, and the football we're playing is magical. And it's only going to get better with time, and with the likes of Juranovic signing today as well. You know, we're adding quality to this team that is already playing quality stuff. It's a real scary prospect, and suddenly I am one confident Celtic fan. You know, this is the week before the derby. A few weeks ago, the majority of Celtic fans didn't believe we could go and win the league title. I'm saying bring it on. I am loving us at the moment, and it really is just a real credit to everything that the team is doing at the moment. 74% possession, 5.43 expected goals, 37 shots, 36 chances created, 8 big chances, 91% pass succession, 14 corners, 576 accurate passes, 12 shots on target. That is scary reading for any opposition. I don't like this narrative that has been trying to be created in the comments section about how Celtic are beating easy opponents and they've been handed an easy run so far and we're being flattered, because it's the same narrative that's been created by people who were saying, well, we're going to be given a fright by AZ Alkmaar. And do you know what? We'll see next week. That's the big test, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And St Mirren is a team who last season that came to Celtic Park and beat us. St Mirren aren't mugs, they're not rotten, they're not poor. Celtic are just on fire at the moment, and that's what's got to be accepted. So I'll go through the game start to finish as I usually do before we get on to the three things. We started well, and look, I've already touched on a lot of things that I need to say about the game because it was just constant start to finish, brilliant football. But we start really well. I thought the pace and the intensity looked good as well, as it has in every game so far. But a great opening goal by Liel Abada, and just his presence in the team has been brilliant. And you can certainly notice a difference with him being out of the team for a couple of games and him coming back in. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, the difference, but you can see the difference between the likes of him and Forrest. They are different players. I think they offer a bit of a difference. Maybe because Forrest is much older than him. But Liel Abada's came out in and he looks like the prodigal son. You know, he's brilliant. I butchered saying that, but just brilliant. Unbelievable to watch. Brilliant finish, puts us up 1-0. St Mirren go down to 10 men. A very easy decision for Willie Collum. He got it spot on. It was a definite red card. One of the easiest red card decisions I've seen. And then we go up 2-0, Davy Turnbull. I mean, that is just... Sorry, it was Liel Abada again for number 2, wasn't it? 2 goals for him. Brilliant. You know, he's just flying. And all three of the attackers are that we're playing today. Edouard, Kyogo, Abada, all three of them are playing really, really well at the moment. And then there's Christie as well. So they're all just doing their bit and it's great. We then go up 3-0 and that time it's David Turnbull, just to get my notes. And then 4-0 David Turnbull as well. I mean, yeah, they're down to 10 men. So I didn't expect Celtic to go and take advantage of that. But it was ruthless. It was great. And Turnbull's strike for, I think it's his third goal, isn't it? Oh, it's absolutely tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous. And, you know, we got to half-time 4-0 up. You know what's coming next, second half. Go out there. Odsonne Edouard chips in with a goal. Very happy to see him score after Neil Lennon's comments this morning. I hope Neil Lennon was watching. I hope Edouard was celebrating and inside. I hope he was, you know, sticking it right to him. And then 6-0 Turnbull again to get the hat-trick, which is just brilliant. An all-round great performance from Celtic, and I'm absolutely buzzing. So on to the three things that we've learned then as we get quite deep into this video. Number one, we're going to talk about David Turnbull. There was a lot of questions raised, I think, in the opening couple of Ange Postecoglou games as to how David Turnbull would fit into the system, how he would adapt into the system. And there was a few concerns from Celtic supporters that he might not be as kind of useful as he was last season in terms of goal contribution, scoring goals and assisting goals, because it looked as though he was having to play a little bit deeper. I think this is the thing I think we've learned. I think both David Turnbull and Ange Postecoglou have adapted here, and it's now a good fit into the system. Of course, it's not everything is perfect. Still, it'll get better and better, I imagine. But right now, it's going very well. In the last few games, David Turnbull has been back to his best. He scores a hat-trick today. I mean, come on, you can't say anything else. He scored 2 the other day as well. You know, this is brilliant. This is what we need from David Turnbull, goals, because he's clinical. His shots from range are unbelievable, and he was unlucky not to have 4 or 5 today, you could say. A couple just drifting wide. And he offers you so much. And when we were in that first couple of games where I think Ange was still sussing out a lot of the team and a lot of the players, he was playing Turnbull a little more reserved, and it wasn't working for Turnbull. We'll be honest about that. I think we all said that. Despite players shining all over the park, Turnbull was one player saying he's been a bit quiet so far. But the last couple of games, when we've been playing more attacking players, we've had Rogic in the team, we've had Christie in the team, and we've been going forward, Turnbull's been allowed to play in a role that's similar to a number 10, where he's been forward so much and sitting on the edge of the box and getting shots away. And I think that's both down to him and Ange adapting. Ange just seen that, okay, maybe we can use putting Turnbull a little more forward in my system, and Turnbull's also adapted to being able to float between the two sort of roles, which is great. And he's been brilliant at it thus far. So I think that's one thing that I've learned over the last couple of games, but more specifically today, that he is adapting into this system. He is getting better at it. And yes, it's not perfect. For as perfect as that performance was today from Turnbull, you've got to remember, it's not perfect because it's going to get better. Thing number 2 I want to talk about is the fear factor back at Parkhead. Alan Stubbs was saying it, and I've probably just stole the exact quotation he gave, but we were all thinking it, and Alan Stubbs just happened to say it. I mean, Stubbs, he doesn't say a lot of great things during the commentary, but he happened to get it bang on when it was around the 90th minute mark. The fear factor is back at Celtic Park, I think. Now, people might be saying you're rushing way ahead yourself there. You've played 2 home games. We've played 2 home games and won 6-0 in the league. We've been brilliant so far in Europe, despite dropping a kind of a poor result to Midtjylland in the first game. And we were brilliant against Hearts in the Cup. People don't want to come to Celtic Park now. If that's what's going to happen every week, teams around this league, they're not going to want to come to Celtic Park. Whereas last season, teams were coming to Celtic Park, and we all know it, they were fearing us. And yes, a big part of that is just down to the fact that 60,000 fans have came back to the stadium, whereas it was empty last year. But a big part of it is just the football we're playing, and the football that Ange Postecoglou wants to give the Celtic support. So it's magical, it's brilliant. I'm loving the fact that we're making the place a fortress again. Last year we were giving away far too many points on a domestic level at Celtic Park for my liking or anyone's liking. It was embarrassing. We were losing to St Mirren, we were losing to St Johnstone, we were losing to Ross County, we were losing to sides that we should never be losing to in a home match. You know, once in every few years, a freak result maybe, but we shouldn't be losing to these sides at Celtic Park. You know, records were broken last year for our losses at Celtic Park. That's not going to happen this year. We've got rid of it, and Celtic Park, you know, it's a place that you want to play at. As I said, you want to see the team play at and play at well, and teams don't want to come to. And thing number 3, bring on next week. I'm buzzing. Now we've got a game to worry in between about. Let's think about AZ, but in a domestic sense, bring on next week. It's only a matter of 3-4 weeks ago that we were all a bit paranoid for Celtic's chances this season, and a lot of people did remain confident, and fair play if you did, but it was hard to. Being realistic, if you're being realistic about it, 3 or 4 weeks ago, it wasn't a great sight, thinking about us playing them and then the league challenge ahead of that. Bring it on. I'm buzzing. It could be, if we've not got any Celtic fans at Ibrox next week, it could be a humbling. You never know, but I'm buzzing for it nonetheless, and I can't wait to watch it. I don't know what way it's going to go, and I'll probably make my mind up closer to the time after we play midweek and Rangers play tomorrow. But after that today, I'm looking forward to seeing Ange play Rangers for the first time. I think it'll be a right good show, and I can't wait for it. So there's my 3 things. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of today's 6-0 win again for Celtic. Oh, Ange Postecoglou's total sexy Celts. That's what it is. See you all next time.